A kick through, tough one to take. Finn flicked a handball up. Sophie McKay in there for the Blues. Painter over the top of it for the Eagles. Flicks it back now towards Swanson. Fitzpatrick put some good pressure on. Hill back into the side was there too, but Painter emerges with it. A number of Eagles named in that 22 under 22 side as Backer got involved with the mark, and the Eagles go inside 50. Important touch from Hendry. Able to knock it down. Eagles have the extra number here. Wakeford trying to lock it in. They raffle it. Who's the call going to be against? Nobody. We'll get a ball up inside 50.
Frantic start by both teams, but the Eagles took advantage of the forward transition so fast that we spoke about that daisy chain, perhaps.
Gibson out of the air, volleyed it. Hooker, it'd be fitting if she'd kicked the first goal, given she announced her retirement this week. And we'll get another stoppage.
But yeah, I'm going to tip it's going to be frantic early.
Anything possible on Halloween. Some craziness at the footy tonight, but it will be frantic early, particularly with that weather looming a little bit later. Goals early will be so important. And as Finn gets the kick out, and will spill away. Shearer onto it quickly. Good tackle from Roo. Nice strong one to try and lock it in. Another scramble for the footy. And you can tell the pressure early and how much it means to both of these teams.
Yeah, and I love Roxy Roo's game this year. She's just been sensational moving into defence, but they can also swing her into offence as well. So she's just added another string to her bow.
Harrington, dominant this season. Dersma couldn't quite take it. McKay will gather. Just pump the footy long up towards Riggs. Trying to take a contested mark, but there was a hold, and a free kick will go to the Eagle.
You just see Cordner just held the jumper of Riggs.
Riggs wants to go quickly, sends it in. Wakeford! Terrific contested mark.
What an incredible mark. Incredible delivery to Wakeford's advantage, and just with outstretched arms, it was just a perfect mark.
Daisy Pearce spoke yesterday. I was chatting to her on radio, and she said that Lauren Wakeford was really unlucky not to be named in the 22 under 22 side, because she's had a terrific season and has certainly grown as a player this year with the 7 goals. And as the Eagles search for their first ever finals berth, she gets them off to the hot start.
Well, that's just the start that the Eagles would want. The play has just been all Eagles, hasn't it? So the ball hasn't really got down to Carlton's forward line at all. It's just all been cut off. And here we see Riggs just really weighing up her options. And can you see Wakeford just gives a slight shove and then just opens up the space in front of her just slightly for her to reach out those extended arms and take an incredible mark, but then go back and kick the goal.
Pick 15 back in 2022. It's just grown every season that she's played. It's been a bit more time forward this year than ruck.
And it's been great for her to have just a different role, and the versatility of the Eagles has been on show.
You mentioned it, Nikki, that time in forward half, only 8% going the way of West Coast to begin with. As back in the middle they go. Harrington with authority, able to smash it away. Abby McKay with a clean pickup. We'll look back through the middle. Fitzpatrick there under pressure from Dana Hooker. Ball knocked forward again. Kavanagh taking in that strong tackle. Doug Leash get back to her feet.
Great to see Mimi Hill and Abby McKay back in the team this week. The Carlton are really going to need them today.
Fitzpatrick tackled by Lewis. And another stoppage.
I get the feeling tackling's been a bit of a priority at Eagles this week.
And just the second time that these two sides have actually met in a fixture. The Blues won the first one. Spills out to Vesio. They go with a handball over the top. Goss with a neat step for the Blues. We'll look across the ground. We've got Dersma in some space. Chance to go inside 50, but just a terrible bounce for Carlton as it spilt to Britton instead, who can straighten up towards Roberts. Ball almost busted through. Well taken by Goss. Back the other way now for Carlton. Dersma, Goss, Gibson gets involved. Will always be physical. Try to crash through the tackle of Bohanna. They pile in on top. West Coast win it back. Gibson with a high ball up the wing. Tough one to try to take. Cordner is able to gather. And we'll feed it backwards, and the Blues can just take some time to go back through Harrington. And they'll try to get their first inside 50, and it'll be a long blasting kick. Trying to get it out the back. Hands on it from Thomas. Spills down to McKay, who will snap towards goal. But it goes wide, and a bit of deliberation whether it's scored or not. Saw it last week, kick a couple of great snaps for goal against the Giants.
She's an exciting player. I love watching her. She seems like she's just a real hype person for the Carlton team.
So out of bounds on the full looks like the call is going to be. And really, in this last round, percentage could be a factor. So every score is going to be important the whole way through for all these teams in contention. There's a block or a push, and a free kick here to the Eagles at half-back.
Ella Roberts seems to be getting a little bit of attention.
Scrubs that kick forward. Franklin with a neat pick up to get it back to back up. Handball forward. Must have made the right connection. Lewis couldn't take it. You weren't so sure, Nikki?
I'm not so sure. I think they kind of like fell out in the tackle.
Well, they take it now. Wakefield will go inside 50. 2-on-1 favours Carlton in defence. Hendry's got some work to do. Riggs there putting the pressure on. And they will get it out of defence. Long kick back through the centre. Swanson spoiled away from Hill. Might be a tagging job there as Roberts gets involved with Swanson again, and now Franklin on the chest. Will look up inside 50, pokes the pass. Lewis in the fingertips.
I love how Franklin just lowered her eyes then. She didn't blaze away, and she really made sure that she hit a target. She had one of two to choose from.
Lewis unsure about the distance here. So he's going to tee it up. Wanted Wakefield again. Vesio back there takes the mark.
Yeah, really well positioned by Vesio.
Goes short out of defence, and Goss working hard to receive. Carlton kick to a contest. Lewis couldn't hang on to that one. Finn will get it moving again for the Blues. Pretty open space. Foot races on. And Smith will get back there first with the experience, trying to gather. The pressure comes from Carlton. Eagles have got some numbers there. Smith couldn't clear it, but Zoe Wakefield can. He goes with a short kick. Didn't clear the area. Britton with a handball on the up. Now to McGrath. Just that dump kick forward will be intercepted.
The range is coming down here as well at Leederville Oval, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult, but I think the Carlton might have their snorkel and flippers packed from last week.
Well, slippery conditions there. Hopefully no lightning this week and no delays like there were last week. And holding the ball here against Shearer. No, against the Eagles. So Shearer tried to take the mark and then went back in underneath the Eagle by Hannah. Trying to throw a boot at it. Zoe Wakefield just grabs the footy and turns and takes it away. Swanson up the line. That shower of rain is going to make it difficult. Roberts tried to jump early. Spills through a few sets of hands. Keep rolling it forward. Back up. Showed the footy. Then goes long. Up towards Riggs. Crutching in. Cordner. And
it's a mark.
Paid a mark in the end. That is brilliantly done. We're crashing back into the pack. How did she hold on to that?
I think it fell in her lap. She'd had no clue.
Not sure if it came off a few sets of hands on the way through. It was paid a mark, and now Goss can take it for the Blues. Settling into the game a bit more. Thomas couldn't hang on to it. Spills down low for Scholes. Turns, no one in the goal square. Handball over the top. Sherritt crushed in a tackle by Smith. The cavalry arrives, and they'll get a stoppage.
That was a goal-saving tackle by Smith. She's back in the team for her speed and her leadership and just her experience, and she's just shown it there.
No, just wrenching the side out of the suspension today. That run out of defence for the Eagles. Zoe Wakefield, Britton, now Dersma. They do battle in that forward pocket. Fend was good from Dersma. He tries to backtrack. He's tackled well by Britton. Smith, handball over the top. Now the Eagles can get out. Lewis to Britton. Over the top. Backer was there, and free kick will go just down the ground. Dealt with after got rid of the handball.
This is the frantic play, isn't it? I think it's going to be a different style of frantic though now. It's going to be a little bit messy, a little bit ugly, because at the start there was no rain and it was nice and clean and clear and the ball could move and it was just so good to watch. Now it's going to be messy, it's going to be ugly, but it's the team that can settle and play in these conditions better that's going to come out the winner. Finn
flicked that handball up nicely. O'Connell on the boot. Shearer, good positioning in front and strong hands. I'll get it going. Inside 50. The high ball. Sophie McKay was there. And a pushing free kick. It's paid, no advantage. We'll go the Blues way. Come back to McKay.
She's a bit sore.
Get another look at it here.
I didn't see anybody push her.
Maybe just because there's no eyes on the footy from the defender.
Or possibly coming the other way.
As McKay goes in short and finds Dersma.
That's poor defending by the Eagles. They need to cover those short kicks because now Dersma's within about 25, 30, probably 30 metres by the time she kicks this.
Has never kicked a goal in the AFLW. Inside season on the line, tries to step up to the mark but misses to the near side. Plenty of Blue supporters in the building enjoying the action. They'll be a bit outnumbered today. Thomas just waiting for the footy. As Kavanagh will get back onto it though. Did a run and spread and carry. They go right through the corridor. Lewis was there. Backer will try to get it to Lewis again. Handball over the top. Dalgleish lays a strong tackle. Painter took 2 or 3 to bring it to ground. Again, that quick ball movement right through the corridor.
Yeah, the Eagles are playing a real risky gauntlet-style football, aren't they? Just coming straight through the corridor, and they're getting as far as halfway, so right to the midfield, but then they're just lacking their mid-forward connection.
And a free kick here, holding the ball, the advantage paid. Zoe Wakefer in front, wrestling with Bohanna. Here's where McKay can be dangerous. Neat step, got through, chips it up for Scholes. Just couldn't take it down low. I'll get it on the boot through kick as it spills away and out of play. And get a boundary throw-in.
That fast transition from Carlton really caught the Eagles out then, so they just did not even wait for Eagles to set up. They just wanted to move the ball forward and fast, and just to make sure they caught out the Eagles' defence.
Blues have just made an interchange with 4 players, so they're down a few numbers. The footy's a long way away from them, but they'll still win the clearance away. They did the full interchange. The footy was a long way away from where they were, but they do manage to hold it up, keep it inside their forward 50, just.
Don't know if I'd be going with that tactic every time, just 4 off, 4 on.
You're 4 players down with the ball that far away.
Lucky it's inside their forward 50 though, I guess.
Good smother. And the pack forming. Kavanagh going back in again. Spills away. Pound tried to soccer the footy out of there. We've got a whistle. Which way's the free kick going? Everyone looking around a little confused. I think it's going the Eagles' way.
I'm not too sure. I didn't see it either.
What are we getting?
Looks like an Eagles ball.
The confusion all around. And a 50.
Not too sure. If we can get a replay, maybe we'll be able to have a look. It's. I'm going to say it might be against Finn.
She wasn't happy with it, or maybe just the fact that they've given up a 50-metre penalty, because the ball lived inside the forward 50 for the Eagles early, but Carlton have responded, had a fair bit of their territory in the last 5 to 10 minutes, but now they give the Eagles an inside 50 and a chance to take a mark. Wait for the target again, took it off hands, quick snap, couldn't find a teammate, cornerback there, can intercept. See those inside 50s, the last 10 minutes, clearly favouring Carlton. Get it and go. Here and run down. Ball spilling through. Rue. Handball to Smith. On the boot. And 3 players around. Backer can take it and go quickly. There's a wobbly kick towards Riggs, and in the end, it's another intercept mark to Cordner.
Yeah, Sana Backer at the top of the 50 there, all on her own. So just a quick kick forward, but she didn't use the ball as well as what Daisy Pearce would have liked her to.
Here's Hill. Back in the side. A welcome return for Blues fans. And finds Harrington. Go with a long kick. No one really there for Carlton. Just went over the head of Smith. But plenty of time to get back and recover. Just casually give the handball away to Cleaver. Good delivery to Dana Hooker, who gets the extra cheers after announcing her retirement this week.
She's been incredible for the Eagles and also for Fremantle, for AFLW in general. So, congratulations to Dana Hooker, and we wish her all the best for the future.
And a 50-metre penalty here to Roberts, who had taken the mark and then had the ball knocked out of her hands, and she's on a mission to get it moving quickly. No one on the mark for the Blues, so she can just keep running and go all the way up to the 50 and sends it inside, but Riggs was blocked out of it. Another intercept mark to Cordner.
Yeah, that's just poor decision making, because she had the 50-metre penalty. I think she was maybe worried about how fast she could run, because she'd already run about 50 steps. But yeah, they just needed to do better, the Eagles, with those last couple of inside 50
Roberts
entries.
just about threw that one out. Cleaver, handball, Kavanagh tackled, back to Roberts, sends it in long, packs up, Riggs brought it down, corner there again. Good defending from Carlton. And I'll clear it away. Back towards Harrington. Copped a nasty bounce. Spills to Bohanna. Trying to hang on to a slippery footy. Handball. Gave it up. Good smother. Gearing after it. She was tackled. Put on the boot by Good. Bouncing footy. Up to half forward. Smith wrapped up. It has been a frenetic opening quarter. We've got 2 minutes remaining till the first change.
Yeah, it's going to be battle of fitness in the end, isn't it, perhaps? Because, they're just going end-to-end transition. And Carlton seem to be very happy to play with no forwards in their forward 50, but just to kick long.
It's rolling up the ground a long way. Shearer sends it up towards the 50. Zoe Wakefar.
Great.
Sisters at either end taking some good grabs. Been solid in defence this season for the Eagles. Bit of a wobbly old kick out at defence, but it found a target.
That was a flower bag. A finger breaker.
Still gets credited as an efficient kick. It was marked by a teammate. Lewis has to go to a contest. Roberts, usually a good one to kick it towards. Dana Hooker there. Big tackle from Goss. And towards the boundary line. Kieran thought she was held without it. Goss on the boot. Bouncy ball towards Harrington. Cleaver trying to control it down low. Harrington with a good tackle. Cleaver with nowhere to go.
I think Harrington's arguing that wasn't a genuine attempt.
Might have had a case too. And the Blues get one late here up near their attacking 50. Painter will try to clear. Great smother by Fitzpatrick. Away to Finn. Over the top. They'll go in. Fitzgerald's kick. Harrington couldn't take it. Ball spills out the back. Bruton trying to get there for the Eagles. Driving ball out of defence. Not a lot to kick to. It'll be a lasso free kick. Footy fans in general are going to have to get more used to seeing across both forms of the game.
Yeah, I like it. I like it being brought into the men's competition as well.
It keeps the play moving quickly as it's sent back inside 50 for the Blues. Smith, clearing kick. Harrington's there. They've got the wall set up. Under 30 seconds to go. They want to mark. Yeah, it's good placement too for Hill. He looks up. The seconds ticking down. Right on the range. 10 seconds if she wants to pass it. Or maybe just drive it to the goal line. Gets underneath it. Blues need a mark. Big pack up. Bohanna! Call play on as the seconds tick down. The Blues denied right at the death of the first quarter. It looked a clean mark for mine. Bohanna's not happy with it. A controversial moment to end the first quarter. Carlton denied a mark right on the goal line as time expired. It was certainly before the siren, but they are still searching for their first goal. Frenetic pace, so much on the line in this one. Second quarter, not too far away. Eagles letting it by 5.
All right, there we go, folks. We've got a tight opening quarter here. 2 scoring shots only. The Eagles, though, they've kicked straight. 1 straight goal, 6. Carlton, well, they've missed the big sticks. 1 straight behind. It's a 5-point margin here at quarter time to the West Coast Eagles. Of course, that's a game they can't afford to let slip if they want to play finals. They're going to win this game. Absolutely, they need to win this game. And I tell you what, she's going to be a close game. Can they do it? Oh, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Let's just have a little bit of a peekaboo. Who was the goal scorer? There we go. Lauren Wakeford was the only goal scorer out on the ground. That was the goal scorer for the West Coast Eagles. Let's have a little bit of a look at the disposal getters. There we go. Leading the table is Ella Roberts from the West Coast Eagles with 9 disposals, 5 kicks, 4 handballs. She's had 1 mark. Of course, Sane Baker, she's had 7 disposals, 4 kicks, 3 handballs. Of course, for leading the table for Carlton, the Blue Baggers, Lily Goss and Harriet Cordner, both with 6 disposals, 5 kicks, 1 handball apiece. Harriet Cordner, though, she's grabbing the ball well. She's had 4 marks in total in the opening term. Well done to her. Isabel Lewis next best for the Eagles, and Harrington for the Blues on 5 with Dana Finn. Jade Britton also 5 for the Eagles there. We'll just roll down a little bit. Have a look at your favourite player if you've got one. Or if you've got a player you want to know the stats, just let us know in the comments and we'll have a look at those stats for your favourite player there. There's a good name, Poppy Scholes, just 2 touches, 2 handballs there for the Blues. Of course, there are quite a few players down there with just 2 and 1 disposal. 4 players, of course, no disposals as yet. Let's just have a look at the team stats. She's pretty tight game. 65-61. That's the Eagles by 4 disposals overall. Of course, Carlton have got 2 more kicks, 40-38. 6 more handballs to the Eagles, 27-21. Tell you what, both teams, they're getting their inside 50 opportunities. It's 9-11. Carlton a +2. 11-9, both with just the 1 scoring shot. So they certainly do need to pick up their efficiency, as you can see there. Their efficiency at 11 and 27%. Disposal efficiency, though, pretty good there for the West Coast Eagles at 63.1, going above season average. Looking at the free kick count, of course, the home team, they got the free kick count there, 6-3. It's +3 there to the Eagles. Looking at the hit-outs, Carlton, of course, on top there. It's 8-4. Blue Baggers by 4 clearances. It's all tied up here at 5 apiece. Only been 1 centre clearance. Of course, West Coast Eagles got that one, so it's 1 zip. That aspect, the Blue Baggers, it's 5-4 stoppage clearances, contested, uncontested. Look at that super ring-a-ding-ding tight game out here this evening over there in Perth. 30 contested possessions each, 31 uncontested possessions each. It's not too bad in the turnover count. That's reasonably good. Carlton doing the better of the marking. 16-10, leading the way by 6, but the Eagles, they got 2-1 marks inside 50s. It'll be interesting to have a look at the tackle count. There we go, 17-15, both teams, I should say, tackling not too bad there. 2-1 tackles inside forward 50. Eagles there +1. All right, folks, that's enough of me rambling on. We're going to head back down to the action. We're only a minute or so away from the bounce of the ball for the second quarter, whereas the Eagles leading by 5 points.
The entries were, it ended up being 9 to West Coast and 11 to Carlton. But we saw, as you mentioned, perhaps like frenetic ball movement. The fast transition by both sides was incredible.
Certainly was. There was a controversial moment late on in that first quarter. Now, was it a mark to Tara Bohanna right on that quarter time siren? Let's get another look at it here. Up with the pack. Umpire said there was other sets of hands on it. Nikki?
Well, there was, but pay that.
Pay it.
Because of we want the theatre for the game. It's a finals, feeling for this game, and we want it to be exciting. That would have been exciting to have that on the siren.
Almost a very good mark to Bohanna. Let's get down to Bonnie Rayner with the Carlton coach.
Yeah, thank you. I'm with Matt Buck. Unfortunately, I have a bit more time with you this time. What a hot start. You guys look like you're defensively really well set up behind the ball. Will you be a bit more attacking this quarter?
Yeah, we thought we defensively held up well, but Eagles brought the pressure. Now we're always looking to attack. I think we just need to connect a little bit better between the arcs and hopefully get some better entries.
Yeah, and obviously the 5-day break with travel, it's been a really physical start. How do you sustain that level of intensity you've been operating at?
No, our preparation through the week's been fantastic, so can't fault the players with that, and I expect we turn up in that space.
Good luck.
Cool, thanks.
Matthew Buck there, the Carlton coach, chatting to Bonnie Rayner. We had a bit of a shower of rain through that first quarter. There might be a little bit more throughout the evening, so every goal is going to be worth its weight in gold. As these two sides, if they win, very simple. You win, you are playing finals. If not, you've got a nervous wait through the rest of the round to check the other results. As we're underway, second quarter, NAB AFLW action from Leederville Oval. The Eagles and the Blues, as Lewis is tackled and held up. Go at it again, Lacaille. The hit out down. Abby McKay able to get it out to Fitzpatrick. To Hill. The Blues with a clearance. Get it forward and moving. Goss away. Fitzpatrick full of speed. Sends it in. Bouncing ball. Well attacked by Zoe Wakefa. Dropped the footy. Got it back. Thomas. Couldn't quite clear with the kick. They go back in again. Finn did well to open it back up. Shearer on the boot to the square. McKay was down there. Good punch away by Thomas. Really good one-on-one.
Really good. And wasn't that electric by Carlton just to see them come running through the midfield with Goss and Fitzpatrick and put Eagles under pressure early.
So an inside 50 for the Blues. Harrington had Lacaille to it in the ruck and the handball over the shoulder. Shearer went to ground without it. Hill with a clearance. McKay down there looking dangerous. They combine. Spilt to Hill. Now Roberts trying to clear. Fitzpatrick back onto it quickly again. Tackled by Roberts.
Great tackle as well. Jesus, hot in there. I'm not too sure how they're going to get the ball out. They're just going to have to do no handballs, just get the ball on the boot and see if they can get it moving forward, Carlton.
McKay and Harrington. Harrington decisively down. Thomas heard a voice but didn't hit a target. Shearer trying to bump her way to win the footy. Painters up around the ball. And holding the ball, free kick. Like they were raffling it there, both of those players. But the free kick is going to go the way of the Blues.
Okay, wow. It's that interpretation again by the umpires that sometimes, obviously they know what they're looking for, but for us it's just still a little bit confusing sometimes.
It was pretty much a 50-50 at first glance. Keely Shearer to take the opportunity. We're denying right on the quarter time siren of their first goal, perhaps the Blues. Shearer now from distance sprays it out wide. And it goes out of bounds on the full. Wasted opportunity there from Carlton. We expect that they'll need to make the most of those half chances they get.
Yeah, absolutely. We can hear the teammates even from here. We can hear in the effects mic that the teammates just saying, don't worry about it, let's go, let's move on. So they're just putting it behind them and just trying to keep looking towards the next play.
Lever's long kick. Riggs in the air, lost it. Good. Spills. Roberts after it. Dalglish will get away. Chips the ball up towards Dana Hooker, but intercepted by Finn. Who can reload for the Blues. Stabs it in short. Sophie McKay couldn't hang on. Spills back. Painter trying to help there in defence. Bodies over the top of it. Goss in there. Roberts was cleanest, but then lost out. Fitzpatrick just trying to will it forward. Harrington got a step and with the strength onto the boot. The snap, but misses.
Eagles under all sorts of pressure here in the opening minutes of the second quarter. But wet weather footy is such a different game to what they were playing in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. It's just making sure that you keep your feet. You don't do many handballs. You kick long and direct. Don't kick sideways because the ball's always going to skid in a line, in a straight line.
Time in forward half dominated by Carlton to start this quarter as it goes back in towards Harrington. Just knocked out of her hands in time. Desperate defence by Thomas. Zoe Wakefa on the boot. Riggs was out there. It was spilled through to Lauren Wakefa. Trying to gather it just inside the boundary line. We'll take it over. The Eagles will be happy with some territory. Can't be disappointed not to have made a little bit more of those 450 entries.
Yeah, exactly right. Probably the shoes on the other foot, isn't it now, with the Eagles not making the most of their opportunities in the first quarter. But yeah, you can see there, good defence by Charlie Thomas again.
Such an important spoil. There's the clearance work from the Blues. Abby McKay able to get it through to Fitzpatrick. Now Pound will send it to the 50. Bouncing ball, clean bowled Sophie McKay. Harrington down there. Wakefield was almost holding on. Thomas back to Hooker. Chipping the ball out of defence. Bushby trying to take it. Big collision. Pound back the other way. Gibson was trying to get physical. Pound, Fitzpatrick. Blues, it opens up again. Hill chips the ball up. Swanson back there trying to help. Now Goss in a wrestle. Lacaille trying to take it. Fitzgerald on the boot. Harrington's got the reach and the mark. Just too big down there and just shoving Zoe Wakefa out of the way to go and set the mark. But a dominant presence and a big kick this.
Yeah, just a nice little quick kick forward, and Fitzgerald just toe poked it forward, and Harrington just front position.
Really got back to some of her best form this season. Bree Harrington, 5 goals for the season, 1 last week. Leans back on the kick and hangs it out to the right. They need to make the most of their dominance, the Blues.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that one, but I love the feistiness after she's taken that mark, and that the umpire paid it.
It was clean that time at the second bite. There's Thomas with a good kick in, out to Cleaver. And it's the Eagles' turn to try and take some territory up towards Wakefer. Injury just nudged her underneath it really well. Now back onto it quickly. Well played by the Blues defender, but the Eagles' numbers win out. Lewis soccers it forward, which you need to do in the wet weather. Spills up towards Gibson. Knocked away, taken by Hill. Vesio looking for an option. Finds a good one in Fitzpatrick. Short ball, well taken down low by Abby McKay. Back to the run of Fitzpatrick, and now that driving kick to the 50. Cleaver was there, but Scholes in the side. Going to play her on over the top. Carlton just waiting out the back, can help themselves by Hannah with a clean mark. Was waiting there for an eternity.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm surprised she didn't play on. Like, she was only at the top of the goal square. So, yeah, good on her for going back, because the last couple of set shots have slewed off the side of the boot for quite a few of the players. So let's hope she goes back and puts this one through.
Great contested moment from Scholes to set this opportunity up. And by Hannah from close range, threads it through. Carlton have their first, and they take the lead in this battle for a finals position.
Great reward for effort finally for Carlton. They've peppered in inside 50 for this quarter, and it was just really long and direct ball movement, which was built off the half back. They had the opportunity to go wide to the boundary. They brought it into the corridor. Poppy Scholes takes a great contested mark, and somehow Tara Bohanna is on her own for an eternity right at the top of the goal square, takes the mark and goes back and puts it through.
13th goal of the season for Tara Bohanna, being such an important recruit for them. Childhood Blues fan, enjoying leading that forward line. You can see the inside 50s in this quarter, 6-0.
Yeah.
Carlton dominant in this term. Back to the middle they go. McGrath against Good in the ruck. All knocked to the side of the pack. Carlton quickest to react. Hill set up Finn, crunched in the tackle by Roberts. On the boot from Bushby, bouncing ball, Backer. Tackled by Vesio, still got a kick away. Up to Wakefer, who attacked it. Now a chance for their first inside 50 of the turn. Little fumble from Bushby, and then the kick was smothered. It spills away off Abby McKay. And still alive for the Eagles. Up and under kick from Dana Hooker. Call to play on, wasn't the required distance. Vesio, handball back to Fitzgerald, knocked down by Franklin. Under pressure, Dersma. Tackled again, Dersma. Backer got it to spill clear. Franklin's kick was smothered. Good desperation by the Blues. Now McGrath feeds it to Kavanagh, to Bushby. Slipped it through to Franklin. The Eagles just with no time and space to get it clear. Keck to Hill. Hill knocked it off. Abby McKay kept it moving. Body's committed. Spills to Kavanagh. On the boot, Wakefer in front, dropped it. Cordner with enough pressure there. Blues trying to clear. Hill. Abby McKay. It was a free kick advantage. Will go Carlton's way. This is where they can slingshot it through the middle. Swanson couldn't affect the footy. Knocked down, Rue attacked it, storming through. Almost taken high. Swanson in there. Roberts now. Scrap for the footy. Shearer with a hand on it. Almost need a ball up for everyone to take a breath. It just continues to roll, and Carlton break clear with it. Hill on the boot. The 2-on-2 forward of the play. Harrington, Zoe Wakefer. Wakefer goes in again. Finn trying to dive on top of it. Ball might be interesting here, and holding the ball it will be.
Oh, I feel like I'm watching a rugby union game. It just keeps going from rolling ball to then end to end and chip and chase. And, yeah, it just seems like the umpires don't want to call up holding the ball decision or for a ball up. So just incredible one-touch pickup in these conditions by Roxy Rue coming off half-back line. That's going to be the difference, I think, is the clean skills.
Another intercept mark to Harry Cordner. And kick back to the wing. Shearer Claims it. Carlton looking more controlled.
Eagles' long defenders, so the deepest defenders are really playing off their plays. They're probably playing about 5 metres, if not 10, in front of their opposition. So any ball that goes over the top, they're in trouble, but they're just trying to do a whole team defence at the moment.
Long kick from Franklin, ignored Lewis, who had just come on the ground. Now O'Connell with the step, back onto that right boot, high ball, Painter attacked it, off hands, Gibson, a blocking free kick, and it will go back to the Eagles. No advantage paid. Crowd getting a little hot under the collar. I wanted them to keep going, and they couldn't keep going because it was a Carlton free kick.
See, this really messes up the plays as well, because the Eagles go set up forward and then Carlton don't get the advantage.
Pointed in the wrong direction, perhaps. I'm not sure there is still short. It certainly wasn't the 15 for Thomas, who's trying to claim the mark. Great contest. Wet conditions, a shower of rain certainly slowed any scoring down, but just 3 points in it and so much on the line. The Eagles hunting for a maiden finals berth. Carlton trying to lock in their spot in November as through the middle of the ground. Britton. We go wide for Gibson. Carlton well structured down the grounds. Gibson's just going to drive it as long as she can. Up towards Waite, but Courtney got in the road. Waitford brought it down. Fitzgerald tackles. Had to get it out of there. Pile back in on top. Have a long look and holding the ball. It's a tough one on corner. Painter's going to take the free, but it has been consistent. It's not going to be Painter's free. I would have wanted it to go to Painter because it's almost within range from there.
It's a big kick.
It's a long kick. Backer will take it instead and just send it long up towards Franklin off hands. It will roll through for a behind.
Well, the pace has definitely slowed down just a little bit. We saw there where Gibson wanted to take her time and try and pick a target out. But I just think that maybe their best bet is to go fast and go forward, because any delay that Eagles give Carlton, it gives Carlton time to set up and defend.
Pound with a kick in. Eagles with a 3-on-1. Painter. Not paid the mark in the end. A good purchase on it. Hunting after it. Police trying to get it out. One handball out, then it bounced back to her, so it'll be a ball up. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Thrown up almost by Dalglish. Lacaille. Lewis. Backer lays the tackle from behind. Fitzgerald had nowhere to go and got a knock on the way through. Stoppage inside 50 here for West Coast. Wait for cleared some space. Spills to Finn. Kavanagh with the tackle out to Dersma. Now Pound for the Blues. Now to half-back, Keck in front.
Great mark too.
This is where Carlton have been able to transition the footy. Fitzpatrick is quick. Back herself in to try and get around Swanson. They did well to try and force it wide, and did well. Used all her experience there to force the ball out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, really well done there by Swanson. Sometimes it's just better not to overcommit and just to corral and make the ball carrier hesitate. And in that instance, she puts the ball out of bounds on the full, and Eagles gain possession.
Cleaver back to Thomas. Try and switch things up. The kick didn't hit Rue, but time to find it. And off a step, just hit in hope up the wing. Swanson there, Painter weighted down, committed to win it. And then Dana Hooker was out the back as they sent it inside 50. Dalglish there, wrestling with Fitzgerald, soccers the ball forward, will gain some territory, and it should be a boundary throw in the forward pocket.
Yeah, unfortunately that ball in this weather is not going to sit up. It's just going to skid straight through. So
see that rain coming in.
Yeah. It's not a bad result though for Eagles, because they'll get this ball closer to the corridor.
It's been such a nice day too. Until that point, quite warm, but the showers into the evening increasing through this game. Lauren Wakefup on the boot, back into that pocket. Riggs overran it. Fitzgerald had to keep it in dangerously, and Dana Hooker takes the mark.
Well positioned by Hooker, just waiting for that exit kick to come out. She's just telling everyone, no, I'm not giving it off, I'm going to have this kick.
Kicked plenty of goals for her career. She kicked the first ever goal for the Eagles in the AFLW. after making the switch across from Fremantle.
I'd love her to kick this one.
Announced her retirement during the week. Is there one last goal left in the veteran? It's a good-looking effort, but just to the near side.
You could tell with the players, they just didn't celebrate, did they? So you knew just as soon as she kicked it that it was just missing, but hopefully she gets another chance throughout the game.
1 point ball game on a Friday night crunch match. Final spot on the line. A lot of teams watching on with interest to see who emerges the victor in this one. Vickers, he was taken high from the secondary tackler there, but we will get a stoppage. You can see still a warm evening, almost 20 degrees, even with that rain coming down. Get down to Bonnie Rayner.
Yeah, thanks, Paps. Just keeping a close eye on the Eagles, and if they're looking a little bit wilter, Kayla Dudley, she just saw she has come back on, but she's barely featured this quarter. She was on the bike for the entirety before that last interchange. And Kelly Gibson as well, she was struggling with illness, I'm told, during the week. She spent the quarter-time break with the doctor. So just one to watch as this hot match plays out, obviously getting even harder to score with that heavy downpour that has just stopped.
Thanks, Bonnie. It's just eased off the touch. Hope that it stays as clear as possible through the rest of the evening, because we want to see these two teams at their best. Carlton have got it. A minute and a half to go through the middle. Strong hands. Thomas is wanting a 50. The Eagles will go back towards the 50. Punched away from Franklin. Dalglish running onto it with those fresh legs. The kick goes up towards the top of the square. Riggs tackled without it. Free kick to the Eagles.
Jeez, Dalglish is quick, but how quick's Fitzgerald? She nearly ran her down and just managed to get the kick away.
This is Riggs leading out to the footy, and Andrew just didn't know that the ball had spilled. The tackle lingered a touch. The Eagles recruit this season has really impressed throughout the year with her contested marking and the way she's attacked the footy. She's kicked the 4 goals. This is a big kick in the Eagles season, and she nails it with no problems whatsoever to put West Coast back in front.
That's a coach killer for Carlton, isn't it? We've got like 26 seconds to go in the quarter, and Carlton seemed to have most of the play. It was only been the last couple of minutes that the Eagles have had inside 50 entries, and here we see Amy Franklin just bring the ball to ground, but Dalglish just managed to get the kick away, and Riggs just got held onto just for a tiny bit, and but that was enough to give away the free. And this is a pressure kick. This is not easy. So it's really well done by Riggs to put it through.
The 18-year-old key forward making a name for herself in the AFLW. 30 seconds remaining. Makes all the difference on the live ladder as we progress through this final round of the home and away season. The second match of it, a double header on a Friday night as Roberts trying to take it out of the middle, spills the way of Dersma. Just overran it a touch, but able to go back. Roberts on the boot, now to Lewis. Still time if someone can get a clean breakaway to get it inside 50. Lakay's just going to send a high ball in towards Lauren Wakeford. Ball spills out the back. Riggs there wrestling with Hendry. It goes towards the goal line, and a neat little fumble there from Hendry to see it over for the rush behind. And that will do it.
Professional.
For half-time, played it perfectly just to see it over. And at half-time of this clash, it is game on. Late goal there to the Eagles, who'd been under the pump a fair bit through that first half after the free kick went the way of Riggs. And it puts the Eagles in front by those 6 points.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one, isn't it, all day? So hopefully we come out after the break. I'd like to see the Eagles have a lot less handballs when they're moving the ball forward, because when they do go forward and they go fast, they're very impressive.
Looking at the numbers, Roberts has had 13 disposals for the Eagles. Not the same impact that we've seen from her when she has those types of numbers so far. Thomas with 10 for West Coast, and Mimi Hill with 14 for the Blues. Corner's been great in defence with intercept marks, and has the 11 disposals. Fitzpatrick with 10, and Abby McKay with 10 leading the way so far for Carlton as we get down to Bonnie Rayner.
Yeah, thanks, Paps. I'm with Charlie Thomas. It feels like a real wet weather arm wrestle. How much is the breeze and, of course, the downpours having a say on this match?
Yeah, there is a bit of breeze going that way, so it's a little bit of a maybe 1 or 2 goal, but yeah, both teams are just playing their own footy, and it's a really good game of footy.
8 disposals for you, that term. You're everywhere. How much are you trying to lift this team into finals as the leader? Like, what message are you going to give them at halftime?
Yeah, the best thing about our team is that it's all 21 of us that take the field, so I'm just playing my role for the team, and I'm trying to get everyone to play their role.
And the Dana Hooker fan club, you can probably hear the applause in the background. So great to see the support for her. Is that the added motivation as well as the maiden finals berth?
Absolutely. It's an honour to play alongside Hooks week in, week out, and I'm so proud of what she's done in her long career.
Hopefully it extends beyond tonight. Good luck for the second half.
Thanks very much.
Charlie Thomas there with Bonnie Rayner, and trying to make plenty of noise as they went to the bench there. It is half time. Let's find out a little bit more about Harriet Corner and her letter to her younger self.
Dear young Harry, I see you there sitting on the living room floor in the year 2000, eyes wide with wonder as Catherine Freeman lights the Olympic flame and then races to win gold. You don't know it yet, but that moment will stay with you forever. You'll name your new goldfish Catherine, and in your grade 6 yearbook, you'll write, when I grow up, I want to play professional sport. And guess what? You will. You'll run onto the ground yourself, wearing number 21, the number Pop wore. The pride will be indescribable, but so will the weight. You'll feel expectations to live up to the story that's come before you. Then you'll decide it's time to write your own story. You'll be brave and bold, and you'll move clubs. Then, just when you're starting to find your feet, you'll be stopped by injury. It will make you question everything: your identity, your value, your dreams, and mostly your self-worth. But it will also be the moment you begin to truly own your journey. The desire, the passion, and the commitment of that little girl who loved Catherine Freeman, the girl who dreamed boldly in her yearbook, that will be what gets you here. And everything you're going through, every win, every scar, every failure, is shaping you into someone who not only makes herself proud, but makes space for others to dream just as boldly as she did. Keep going, you've only just begun. With love and pride, Harry.
All right, folks, there we go. It's the Eagles at half-time by 6 points, kicking that late goal. I'll tell you what, 23 seconds left on the clock up until half-time. The Carlton team wouldn't be too happy with that. But the Eagles, goal puts them back in front, 2-3-15. Carlton Blues, 1-3-9. There we go, 5 scoring shots to 4. A little bit more scoring shots in there, 1 goal, 3. The Eagles put on in that second term. Carlton, however, 1 goal, 2. So the Eagles managed to get on top by 1 point. Yo, Ryan, how you doing? Squire Ryan Avery Rogue, one. Happy Halloween, sir. Happy Halloween. Hopefully it's not too spooky for you tonight. The old Halloween. Good stuff, good stuff. We'll be back with the commentators in just a moment. I'll give a bit of a recap on the opening half. We'll just run through the goal scorers so far. Of course, for the West Coast Eagles, Lauren Wakefar and Charlotte Riggs, both with 1 goal apiece. And, of course, Tara Bohanna is the only goal scorer there, single for Carlton. Let's look at the disposal getters out on the ground this evening. Of course, Mimi Hill tops the table with 14. She's from Carlton. She's had 8 kicks, 6 handballs, 1 mark, 1 tackle, 1 clearance. Doing well. Ella Roberts from the West Coast Eagles, next best on 13. 6 and 7. Of course, no standouts here this evening. All the girls playing their roles. So we've got a fantastic game, a close game. Tell you what, she's pretty tight, but I'll tell you what, though, the rain did start to come down, so it's made it a little bit slippery out there for the players, which is no easy feat, that's for sure. But still an entertaining game as we listen on into the game. Absolutely fantastic. Let's roll on down. Charlotte Thomas, there we go, 10 disposals for the Eagles. And, of course, Aaron Fitzpatrick on 10. They're the only players, the top 5. Of course, they're all in double-figure odds. The rest are all singles. Abby McKay there on 9 disposals for her. Shane Baker on 9 for the Eagles. Of course, McKay from the Blues is on 9. Let's just roll down a little bit more, and then we'll get back to the commentators in just a moment. Amy Franklin. I wonder if related to Lance Franklin. I'm not sure. Could be interesting. 6 disposals there for the Eagles. Jade Britton on 6 also. Darcy Vasario on 5 there for the Blues. Gabriella Pound on 5 also. Dersma on 5. They're all on 5 there as we go down. Of course, they just drop off a little bit in possession getters for the players there. Jessica Good, 5 hitouts there for the Eagles. And, of course, Sarah Lakey there on 6 hitouts there for the West Coast Eagles, 2 clearances. Just having a little bit of a look at the team stats now. It's Carlton +7. I tell you what, she's a close game, folks. It's a really good game. 75 kicks apiece. Carlton doing a little bit more handballing. They're +7 in that department. Both teams pretty close on the inside 50s. 16-17. Carlton by 1 there. West Coast have had 5 scoring shots for their 16 inside 50s. That was the West Coast Eagles. And, of course, for Carlton, 4 scoring shots for their 17. Free kicks, West Coast Eagles just topping that, 9-6 up until half-time. They're +3. Carlton still doing the work in the hit-outs. They're +4 there. It's 12-8, so +4 there. And, of course, the clearances all tied up. Centre clearances all going the way of the West Coast Eagles. They lead 3-zip there. The stoppage clearances are Carlton getting on top there, 10-7. Contested, she's pretty tight there, 61-58. They're +3 to the Eagles, but the uncontested, they're just finding a little bit more space at Carlton, 52-67. They're +15 there. Look at the marks. The uncontested brings in the marking aspect of the game. They're +8, Carlton in the marks. 18-26 there. And, of course, marks inside 50. Carlton just on top there. 4 marks to 3. As we always have a look at the tackles. The defensive side, 32-31. Both teams tackling well. And, of course, both teams tackling reasonably well inside their forward, 57-5. Just +2 there to the Eagles. If we just have a look at the ladder there, of course, with West Coast in front at this present time of the game, if they continue and they go on to win, as we're having a look here, West Coast Eagles will cement themselves a top 8 position, and they will be playing finals next round. They will be making the finals. If they lose West Coast, they're a chance to drop out of the finals. So they've got a lot to play for. And, of course, Carlton, I tell you what, it's a big game for them too, because if Carlton lose, they'll be sitting on 28 points. Of course, St Kilda on 28, sitting 7th. Adelaide, just a game behind Carlton, hanging on to 8th spot, and, of course, just outside the top 8. Sydney and Freo. Freo, though, unfortunately, with their percentage of 82, looks highly unlikely they'll get in there, but Sydney Swans could certainly get into the top 8. They could push their way in, depending on the results, what happened. It's only 3% the difference between Sydney and Carlton just with that one game, so anything could happen. It all depends on St Kilda and Adelaide as well, folks. The other games coming up over the weekend, so it should be fascinating games, because, as I said, this is round 12. This is the final round of the home and away season here for the AFLW football action. And, of course, finals coming up next week or the week after. I'm not sure whether they actually have a week off or they go straight into finals next week. So we'll certainly find that out when they put the games out. All right, let's just on a break. So we'll be back in just a moment with the action for the second half action of the AFL football, where the West Coast Eagles are leading Carlton by 1 straight goal. We'll be back in just a moment.
We've got a T-Rex in the building. We've seen lots of great costumes out there on the hill, enjoying the footy in the wet weather on a Friday night in a crunch match that is so important. That is the live ladder as it stands, with West Coast joining Carlton on 28 points, but they only hold a narrow 6-point advantage. Basically, whichever of these teams wins tonight, they will lock in a final spot. If they don't, the loser, they will have to wait on other results. We're underway in NAB AFLW action. Round 12 from Leederville Oval. The Eagles and the Blues as Carlton get the first clearance out of there. And they send it towards the 50. Sophie McKay with a clean pickup. Away to Finn on the fly. Kick towards the top of the square. They wrestle for the footy down low. Cleaver working hard to get it out of there. Just drop the footy. Carlton were appealing for a free. And we'll get a stoppage.
Carlton starting the way that they did in the second quarter, so getting the ball in nice and quick inside forward 50.
Harrington down. Sophie McKay with a high kick. Rue athletically, but didn't clear it. Shearer on the boot, kicks the goal. Carlton strike quickly to start the third and square things up.
It's a great start by Carlton, and as we see, Sherrod really, she keeps her feet, she keeps her eyes on the ball, and even though she's being tackled, she manages to have a strong paw and puts the ball through. So we'll see as Sophie McKay just kicks the ball forward. Roxy Rue gets up there, but Georgia Cleaver unable to stop Sherrod. Great celebrations.
That's what Carlton was searching for to begin this third quarter. Keely Shearer able to put it through, and scores are level. I don't think a draw helps either side.
I want a draw. I think there's going to be a draw just to make it interesting.
Yeah, it'll help the Blues. As the ball's bounced and knocked down, it won't help West Coast though. As out the middle, Roberts tackled, got a handball through. Lakay to Lewis, bouncing ball, spill through. Bushby, Pound tackles. Allowed to play. Spills at the back of the pack. Good. Fitzgerald's kick off hands. Swanson searching for it. Sophie McKay's been lively. Tackled by Thomas. Rue with her head down. Swanson went in. Little soccer. Abby McKay on the boot. Up towards the 50. Bouncing ball. Spills to Thomas. Wanting some support. Bushby's there. Pound with the tackle. Affected the handball. Away back to Abby McKay. Scrambles a kick towards the 50. Rue thumps it on the shoe and sends it out towards the wing. An early push there will be a free kick. And then Punter, is it going to be reversed?
Oh, she's lucky.
Very close to being the case.
She just came in and shirt-fronted Vesio.
You see the free kick initially. And then Painter very easily could have turned that over. The whistle had clearly gone, but the ball's out of play with Britain.
I just felt like a couple of minutes ago when the ball was in congestion on the ground, the Eagles were just a little bit hesitant to put their head over the footy, and I think that they need to just go in hard. Regardless of the wet weather, they need to really hunt the footy and want the footy.
Good in the ruck. Knocked it down. Lakay after it. Goss sending it forward. Hill got it up. Gearin on the boot for the Blues to the 50. Cleaver couldn't let it get out the back. Scholes, advantage paid. The Blues will take it. And Shearer misses. Golden opportunity there. The chase was on. Perhaps could have gone a little closer to goal, but the miss, but it does put the Blues back in front.
Yeah, there was a genuine one-on-one contest at the top of the 50 there, and I think Cleaver just held on just slightly. But the advantage was taken by Carlton, and that's what they need to do because the Eagles aren't catching on to this fast transition.
Ball off hands. Bushby diving on top of it initially. It spills out of the pack. Carlton quickest to react. Scholes with a neat step, and we'll send it back in towards the hot spot over the head of Shearer and Cleaver. Who's quickest to respond? It'll roll its way towards the boundary line. Thomas tackled over.
Yeah, Scholes probably was aiming for a little bit more towards the goal line instead of cutting across the face of goal, but this boundary throw-in will put them back in the corridor anyway.
Carlton doing all the attacking to start this third term. Harrington in the ruck with the fist. Who was down there? Gearin trying to get a kick clear. Zoe Wakefer took her time and then fooled everyone. Stepped back through the traffic to send it out to half back. Bounce will be important. Painter arriving first. Had the support of Franklin, knocked sideways. Fitzpatrick, a good tackle on Dana Hooker, who's given the benefit, will get a stoppage.
Great composure by Zoe Wakefer in the back line there, just to make sure that she just held control and had the composure just to look up and find Hooker. At least they've gained about 40 metres outside. About 100 metres from the goals, from Carlton's goals.
Fitzpatrick's kick goes inside 50 and Harrington snap towards goal. Scholes with a push and shove at the square. Carlton looking dangerous again. Scholes with the ball at feet was held up. The Eagles defence having to do a lot of work.
Scholes tried for as long as she could to stay on her feet, but eventually got brought to ground. But real positive signs here for Carlton.
Okay, late to arrive at the ruck, but got it to the advantage of Bushby. Slung to the turf as she got a kick away. Cordner close to the boundary line. Abby McKay tackle lingered. And the whistle was a late one, but it was spotted by the umpire off the play. So McKay to send it back inside 50. Pocket of space. Harrington attacked it almost too hard in the end. We'll get down to Bonnie Rayner.
Thanks, Pat. So unfortunately, Kelly Gibson has been ruled out of the remainder of the match. I mentioned last quarter she was struggling with illness during the week. She spent the entire quarter-time break in the hands of the doctor. So unfortunately, she's unable to take any further part. The Eagles are a player down in this must-win clash.
That's a big loss for West Coast as Gearin sends it. And that one has just bounced on the line. It'll be a boundary throw-in. So taking a bit of a risk bringing her into the game. Not able to get through in the end. So a player down. Yeah, under the pump with territory right now, the Eagles. Carlton are pressing. Harrington knocked it down. Sophie McKay on the burst. Roberts tackled strongly. Ball flicked up. McKay got a boot to it. Hill in the congestion. Lewis there too. Swanson, look out. Collision was coming up. Spills away to Bushby. From the defensive 50, terrific smother away by Gearin. Keeps it locked in the forward half again for Carlton.
Well, the pressure acts Gearin are just incredible. You know, we can just see here, just the smother to keep the ball close to their 50 line has been incredible. She's even so good at defence, she tackles her own teammates.
We saw that last week. It's rather comical, but putting the pressure on again tonight. Tackle lingered there a little on good, no whistle. Britton under pressure again. Carlton swarming. Backer will go defensively. A very dangerous kick, but it found its way to Dana Hooker.
Very lucky then. The last thing you want to do in the wet is go sideways, I guess, but that one worked out.
Back into the corridor. Vesio. They take a terrific intercept mark. Short. Fitzpatrick. Really well set up tonight, Carlton. They've intercepted at will. And they sent it long back inside 50. It was just over the head of Gearin. The breeze favouring that direction, particularly into that pocket as Roberts searching for Lewis. Harrington did well and just soccers the footy forward. There was a player in the vicinity. That'll be a boundary throw-in, will it? No. There's a player down there.
I think the crowd might have changed the umpire's mind. I'm not too sure. They were calling for deliberate. They got it.
It looked like there was a Carlton player not too far away from the ball, but it certainly went straight out of play. As the ball goes back out to half-back. Dalglish getting involved. Connell was tackled. A lot of numbers around this footy. Clearance is pretty even through the game. Only one separating them so far. Blues will get it out of there good with a handball. Coughed it up though to Dana Hooker, to Lewis, to Roberts. Back to Lewis. Past Shearer. Now time for a run and a bounce. The Eagles build up towards half forward. Franklin down low. They haven't seen much of it forward of centre this quarter. West Coast. Franklin wants to take it and go quickly. High ball into the pocket. It was off target. O'Connell was in front. Painter knocked it out of her hands. Hooker was down there. Painter hatching it a touch. It's going to be a baller.
Very lucky not to get done holding the ball there by Painter. Inside 50s this quarter is 3 to Carlton and only this 1 to the Eagles.
Ball knocked away.
Sorry, 7 to Carlton and 1 to the Eagles.
That's a big number in favour of the Blues. McGrath, Dana Hooker, bouncing footy. Painter down there. Now it's Carlton's turn to try and defend. Swanson lays a good tackle. And O'Connell was a late inclusion back into the side. Villado made a mission for the Blues tonight. Another strong tackle. Ball threatens to spill. The Eagles keep it locked inside their forward 50.
Yeah, they're just going to keep it locked in. They just need one player to break through. Bella Lewis down there is always dangerous as well.
1 point ball game. McGrath knocked it to the side of the pack. Lewis on cue trying to rove on top of it. Abby McKay, good hands to get it clear to Gearin. And now the long kick back with a good spoil away from Hill. We'll get there first. Sophie McKay took the player out and then gets back to win the footy. Roberts shovels the handball over the top. Britton just lost her footy. And it's back out of play.
Jeez, it's tight, isn't it? It's just so frantic and just offense, defense, transition, and this is what they train for, though. Like all these repeat effort drills that they'll be doing is just all for this, for their fitness and getting their mind used to it and thinking under pressure.
It's not just for this game, it's for the season. Win and you're playing finals as McGrath knocks it back towards the boundary line. Fortunes be happy to take it out. Kept it in play and Carlton can advance. Cleaver in front of Scholes. Scholes played it really well. Handball into the path of Vickers as the Blues build off balance. Kick goes wide and it'll bounce out of play inside 50 for Carlton.
Good pressure there by Cleaver. I saw her before the game. She said, please say something nice about me. So that was great pressure, Georgie.
Well, she's the 22 under 22.
She is. She's such a great girl. She's got very Ruby Slicer-like in terms of her ability to bring a team together.
Good hit out from McGrath down to Roberts. Back to McGrath. Bushby couldn't complete the mark. Did well to get the handball out to Swanson. Eagles have had a bit more of the footy in the last couple of minutes. As Pound sees that footy out of play opposed to Dalglish. 5.5 to play in his third term. 1 point ball game. Final spot on the line. No margin for error. Harrington able to slap it forward. Keck crashed through without it. Kavanagh was clean. Bushby had to get around a teammate and a terrific smother in the end by Dersma. Lewis had it an awfully long time. Still allowed to play. Swanson tried to soccer. Spills back through the pack. Britton. Kavanagh sends it up the ground. Franklin in front. The Eagles just trying to break. They haven't been able to do it too much tonight. Now they've got one-on-ones ahead of the footy. Roberts has been swung forward, trying to win it at ground level. Pounds back there for the Blues. Spills the Eagles' way. Franklin over the top to Lewis. Quick kick inside 50, but nobody there for West Coast.
Carlton were able to drop and have their defensive system working early. As soon as they saw that they weren't going to be involved in the play, then the defensive players just managed to drop and really cover that inside 50.
I think I heard someone in the crowd say, where is everyone up there inside 50? But they didn't have any deep forwards. 4 minutes to go in this third term. Harrington down. Gearin's kick. Players wrestle with each other rather than going for the football. Swanson, the soccer skills again. Lewis trying to get it to break. Bumped off at just the right time by Goss. Goes back in again. Big bump between Lewis and Pound. The pressure goes up a couple of notches again. Gearin was there, but a free kick will come back to the Eagles just as the Blues were about to break.
Bit of a mixed crowd, isn't it? I can hear a lot of Carlton supporters booing.
A lot of supporters for the Blues in the West. Dangerous kick through the middle in wet conditions, but fine. Swanson, was that almost 50? The player wasn't really out of the area there in Fitzpatrick, but Swanson played on. The kick was smothered. Swanson gets it back again. Left foot kick up towards the 50. What can Roberts do? Hendry worked her out of it nicely. O'Connell into some trouble. Tackled strongly. Eagles get the turnover. Smith on the boot. Back inside 50. Wait for the target. Spills towards Dersma. Waitfer had the reach. Knocked it down. Fumbling at her feet. Got it back to Britton. Eagles building. Up towards Franklin. Bouncing ball. Spills to Waitfer. Needs a chance. Off the side of the boot. Spills into the pocket. Bouncing ball. Still alive. Vickers wants the line. Taken on. Free kick to Carlton in defence.
Well, I think that was almost a professional free kick just given away so that the Eagles could get back and defend, but we see it pretty clearly there. The hooker goes over the shoulder of Vickers.
Smith intercepts and the Eagles can go back inside 50. Drills it in low. Wanted Lewis. Good take. Bounced off a tackle. Carlton with numbers. LeKay back the other way. Carlton in defence, working hard. Shearer spills Swanson over the top of it. Hassled out of it by Fitzpatrick. Carlton get the territory. Bouncing ball, Scholes and Cleaver. What a good battle that is between two of the young stars of the comp. The tackle lingered on Cleaver and we'll get the free.
Scholes and Cleaver. Scholes was the deepest forward for Carlton and she's up on the centre bounce. So that's how high up Carlton are pressing and they're just wanting this ball over the top to get a quick transition. But again, Cleaver just being given the free kick.
Off the hands of Harrington. Spills through Smith. Waitfer. It was Lauren who got it forward. Goss over the top of the footy. Sockers it back through the corridor. The Eagles set up. Britton can get it on the boot. Bouncing footy up towards Roberts. Got separation. Look away handball. Got it to Lewis. Shot at goal. But it'll bounce into the pocket and away. It'll be stoppage deep in attack for West Coast.
You can feel the momentum building, can't you? Just with the Eagles getting more possession. They're cutting the ball off on the halfway line even. It's not even really getting to their half-back line. But repeat inside 50 entries is very dangerous. You can feel that something might happen here for the Eagles.
Minute and a half in this third term. Ball bouncing overhead. Kavanagh spilled to her. Left foot snap. Wayward are behind. Scores level again.
Inside 50 entries, 25 to Carlton, 21 to the Eagles.
Versio. They'll go long out to half-back. Good kick too. Get it moving through Vickers. High ball up the wing. Rue trying to leap. Took a pack out with her. Ball knocked through. Thomas overran it. Swanson was good. Down low, Dana Hooker. Held up. Allowed to play. Spills Carlton's way. Shearer sends it forward. Scholes knocked out of the line of the footy. Cleaver back across her defensive 50 with good skills to find Britton. And now this is where the Eagles want to break. They've got a 2-on-1 out there. Bushby has got Kavanagh on over the top. They can keep it moving. Kavanagh didn't take the mark. Steps back inside the tackle. Takes it on. Looks wide. West Coast building and Swanson marks. 20 seconds to go. The bench will be screaming at her there on the wing.
She'll be wanting to move this. There's only 18 seconds to go. They want to get this inside 50.
One last chance before three-quarter time. Dana Hooker in front. Didn't mark. Still time to go. Missed the connection. Carlton desperate in defence. They won't want to cough up a late one. LeKay's down there. Seconds tick down. Painted with a big bump. Dalgleish Franklin on the siren. Let it go. The bounce will be important, but it's not going to count either way because the siren went well beforehand. And it rolled through for a behind, which would have given the Eagles the lead, but the siren had clearly gone. And at three-quarter time, it does not get any closer in the fight for a spot in the finals. Cannot separate them. Big final quarter coming up. Scores are level.
Well, there we go, folks. Three-quarter time. Scores are all level. 2-4, 16 apiece. I tell you what, as I said, both teams have got a lot to play for. West Coast, well, they just about had a shot after the siren there, but the siren went all too late, and we're all tied up here at three-quarter time. Let's just have a little bit of a peeky-boo at the ladder. Of course, that is the difference. If it ends up in a draw, West Coast Eagles will only be a half a game clear. That could be important, depending if Adelaide and Sydney lose their match. They may just stick in there, and Carlton will definitely secure a spot in the top 8. West Coast Eagles, though, they're wanting victory to make sure they secure a spot in the top 8, and then Carlton will have to have the nervous wait over the weekend to see whether they can make it. This is all about, inches, folks, inches, or points, I should say. I tell you what, it's a big difference if you're 1 point ahead or a draw or you lose this game. That's what they're playing for. The season's on the line for both sides. Who's going to win? Well, I'll tell you what, 67% so far of the chat are gone West Coast Eagles. Tell you what, I don't mind the West Coast Eagles, actually. They're not too bad a side. Well, they've certainly been reasonably good since Daisy took over as coach there. We'll tell you what, we are in for a fascinating final term. There was only one goal. What they kick? West Coast Eagles only kicked the one behind in that third term. Carlton, however, kicked 1 goal in that third term. I know it's a low-scoring match tonight, folks, but it's an exciting game. We've got an exciting finish coming up in this final quarter. As I said, the season's on the line for both teams. The winner should go through to the finals. The loser has a nervous wait to see what happens over the weekend. It could be a season over for the loser here tonight. Only time will tell. As I said, they'll have a nervous wait over the weekend coming up. Now, if I just put that back on the ladder for the West Coast Eagles and Carlton fans, there is the ladder. If we have a look at who Adelaide and Sydney Swans are playing, Sydney Swans, well, they've got to play Essendon. Essendon are down there in 15th spot. They've only won 3 games, so you would probably think Sydney may get up over there. And, of course, Adelaide Crows, which is a really good team, they play Fremantle at home in Adelaide. So it's going to be a tough travel there for Freo. So you would expect Adelaide to win that and maybe Sydney. So I tell you what, it's a nervous wait for whoever wins this. Carlton, they just don't, for their sake, they just don't want to lose this game. A draw will do Carlton. But for the West Coast Eagles, they need to win. And the worst Carlton really want is that draw, as I was saying. So really, really fascinating. Just look at the disposal getters up until three-quarter time. Ella Roberts there clearly leading the way for the West Coast Eagles on 20 disposals, 8 kicks, 12 handballs. She's had a couple clearances. Mimi Hill there for Carlton doing a good job there on 17 disposals. She's had 10 kicks, 7 handballs. She's had 1 marker tackle and a clearance. Of course, Isabel Lewis for the Eagles, next best on 16. I'll just run down these because they're not too far away from getting into all the action of the final quarter here over here in Perth. As I said, we are in for a ring-a-ding-ding final term, folks. Looks like the rain is, the rain is there, and it looks like to me, maybe West Coast will be coming home with the breeze in the final quarter, so it's going to be put them in good stead. Of course, even though it's a West Coast home game, Carlton did go into this game as favourites this evening. But it's looking like they're pretty well even Stevens running into the final term. That's what I said. My money will be on the Eagles going home with that little bit of a breeze. And, of course, the rain's still coming down a little bit. Looks chilly conditions over there in Perth this evening. All right, folks, that's enough for me. Good luck if you're a West Coast Eagles or Carlton supporter. AFLW action here. Let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter. Scores are level. Everything to play for.
Yeah, thank you. Perhaps I'm joined by Martine Pearman. Nothing separating the two teams. 1 quarter to play, everything on the line. What was the message to the players?
Yeah, it's obviously a tight contest, and we're trying to limit their uncontested possession because they love ripping the ball off the line. I think our pressure factor was 2.75, so we was really happy with that. So we'll keep squeezing and playing contested footy, especially in these weather conditions.
Yeah, you're doing a lot right, but the conditions are tough. The rain is continuing to pour, and you are without Kelly Gibson. So how are you going to manage to run out this game up against it?
Yeah, look, we love the rain because we play really good contested footy. That's our brand. Gibbo's a loss, but we'll be fine. We got the numbers. Thank you.
And you got the crowd behind you. Good
Good luck. Me too. Thank you.
Headed back up to the coach's box already because there's so much on the line in this final term. The Eagles happy to play in the rain. Down a player. Carlton coming off a 5-day break. Who's going to have more run in the legs to finish this one? A final spot on the line. Round 12 NAB AFLW on a Friday night in Leederville as the Eagles and Blues do battle. And as the ball socket away through the middle, Gearin able to take it. Kick was smothered. The pressure's going to be red hot. Finn tackled, held without it, will get the free. First goal either way in this final quarter will be so vital.
And Carlton have been starting strong every quarter.
Finn's kick, left it short, and Swanson, who's been important, particularly in the second half so far.
Yeah, she's been incredible, hasn't she? I think not having the captaincy to her name, she's just had some freedom just to go and play some footy and really enjoy herself. I've loved watching her, and she's played some tagging roles as well throughout the season, but just off the half-back and running through the midfield, she's been impressive.
Roberts tackled and lost it. He's had some possessions, but been relatively well held. As now Gearin will go back up towards the 50. But Hannah's got some separation, can turn and look inside 50, high ball, backer, Fitzpatrick there, red at the best at ground level, rolling around onto that right boot, long shot towards goal, Hill down there, Dana Hooker to the Blues. Well, they get a score and they take the lead.
Jeez, Fitzpatrick is electric. She's just got the agility and that Gaelic style of movement where they're unpredictable, aren't they, the Irish players? They're just so quick and agile, and just getting that ball forward and long was a great move for Carlton.
A long kick out by Thomas. Wakefield with good hands.
Sensational mark in these conditions.
Started the game well with a goal and a contested mark. Lauren Wakefield continuing her good form this season. After it again, I'll set it up the wing. Riggs, off hands, Gearin back into some trouble. Fitzgerald tackled, lost it. Just handball forward, trying to gain some territory off the hands of Gearin and a boundary thrower.
You'd think the West Coast might have the win this quarter as well, so they might have an advantage. So we'll see how that plays out throughout. Like, if they can get the ball moving quick and long, it could really put some pressure on Carlton.
Wind sort of going to the left forward pocket to the right-hand side of your screen. The way the Eagles are kicking in this quarter. And a hook up to Lewis, who was going the wrong direction for a second. And heard the teammates screaming at her to turn around and head towards the right. As now they take it through Swanson. High ball, they got a one-on-one. Pater! Unguarded goal square, she wants to launch it. No one there. She's a long kick. Lets it fly! Lou Pater with a long-range goal. Puts the Eagles in front.
What an incredible goal for the Eagles, and a much-needed goal. Like, they've worked hard all game just in the contested area, and then they get this kick that goes forward. She almost takes the mark uncontested. Well, she does. Lou Pater takes the mark uncontested, and we know that she can kick from 45 out. So why not? It was just a question of accuracy, and she was able to put the ball through. Look at the celebrations.
What a terrific debut season for Lucia Pater, their leading goal kicker this season. She has had an incredible campaign so far in her first year. Burst onto the scene with 3 goals in her first game. She's put the Eagles in front as they chase a maiden finals appearance. Carlton's still got plenty to say. As Dana Hooker looks like she's hurt herself.
She just skidded, and one leg went one way and the other leg went the other way, and she just grabbed at her knee at the end there.
Still trying to fight forward as the Blues go towards the 50. Harrington was there. Rue attacked it, was dragged off it. Gearin goes back in to win it. High ball up inside 50. Pack forms. And the mark will be paid back there to Thomas.
Charlie Thomas.
What an intercept it was from the Eagles co-captain out towards Roberts. Harrington, Hill, Carlton go back inside 50, and Thomas again.
Really great communication there to Cleaver as well. You could see that Cleaver was going to go back with the flight, but then she got called out of it at the last minute, and Thomas is really standing up.
Swanson couldn't hang on. Gearin cleanly done. We'll swing it back inside 50. Repeat entries here for the Blues. But Hannah, she blocked out of it. Cleaver down there, dangerously goes back to Zoe Wakefuck. Ball held up, but that handball so dangerous back there.
Yeah, sometimes you have to ignore the players that are calling for it in the corridor, especially when you're in the back line and very close to goal. So Cleaver needed to turn onto her right.
Big chance here for the Blues. Abby McKay got shoved off the footy and a pushing free kick. The whistle slightly delayed. Went to ground. Massive opportunity here for Carlton.
Once again, just a question of accuracy here for McKay. We can just see Isabella Lewis just pushing McKay off the ball.
Abby McKay, late withdrawal from last week's game against GWS with a quad injury. Hasn't kicked a goal this season. And directly in front. And it's tight towards that post, but she slams it home. And the Blues respond and take the lead again.
What a response from Carlton. They've just come back within a couple of minutes of Eagles kicking a goal, and then they've come back with one of their own. And it came off the back of a free kick where Isabella Lewis just came through. Abby McKay didn't have the footy and got deemed to be holding without it. So she's gone back, and as I said, it was a question of accuracy. I thought that was going to swing and hit the post, but it came back, and celebrations all round for Carlton.
Huge goal to Abby McKay. She's had another terrific season, breaking up plenty of numbers. Matthew Buck watching on. Carlton by a point. A goal each way in this term, but that extra behind to the Blues has them just with the advantage as the ball's smashed forward for the Eagles. Kavanagh soccering it forward. Lauren Wakeford down low. Dalglish went back in, gathered, and held up.
I don't mind the soccering the ball forward, especially in these wet weather conditions. You just want to get metres gain and get the ball inside 50.
McGrath with a hit out. Abby McKay again. Swung the handball wide. Britton will get there first. You had some support from Smith. Finn put some good pressure on. And it'll be a ball up. So 11 and a half minutes remaining. Both sides desperate for the victory to lock in their spot in the finals. Carlton have been so improved this season. The Eagles have never been to the finals before. As Carlton get the break, Hill with a long kick by Hannah and Rue wrestle. It was well knocked down, but then there was a hold, and the free kick will go to Bohanna, not given back clearly, and a 50-metre penalty goes against Rue, just dropped the footy.
Oh, that's costly. I'm not sure if was it against Rue?
I think she had the ball. Cleaver, I think it was, who had the footy and dropped it. We'll get another look at it, but either way, the Eagles didn't give the ball back properly, and it means that Bohanna is taken well within goal-scoring range.
Costly.
To go from a free kick at half forward, now up inside 50. Carlton fan as a kid sends it goalward and might be sending the Blues towards the finals. That's a massive goal for Carlton in this final term.
Well, Eagles coaches will be just tearing their hair out with that one, because that one is highly avoidable. We all know as players that you must give the ball back to the player who's been awarded the free kick on the full. So I haven't seen the replay of it yet, but it was obviously dropped on the ground and not given back to Bohanna on the full. And she advances 50 metres and then converts the goal, which is the most important thing. So we've got here, Cleaver was tackled and then tries to give the ball back to Rue, which you're not allowed to do. You've got to give it back to the player who is awarded the free kick.
Really, she was confused as to who the free kick was going to.
Possibly.
Or not, but had to make sure that you give it to the right person, because that's a clear 50-metre penalty, and Carlton have taken full advantage of it. They're out now by 7 points, 10 minutes to go. The Blues fighting hard. Roberts might have a bit still to say about it. Got it to Swanson up in the middle of the ground. Kick towards Riggs. Fitzgerald knocked her off the line. Lauren Wakefield was there. Versio clever. Sends it long towards Harrington. Handball over the top. Fitzpatrick with a fumble, but then the recovery and the speed to get away. High kick towards the 50. Shearer couldn't take the mark. Under some pressure from Smith. Finn wrapped up. Dropped it out the back. Umpire said made an attempt. Ball inside 50. Back there with a fumble. Fitzpatrick again with that speed. Zoe Wakefield lost it. Blues are building. Got the extra number. Sophie McKay slipping to the turf, but the kick is wayward. And it will go out of play.
Oh, surely that was holding the ball against Finn. She, for mine, she tried to fend and then the ball slipped out the back. But anyway, the ball is in Carlton's forward pocket and they've just, I feel like they've got the ascendancy at the moment. Time in forward half of this quarter, 69% to Carlton.
Here's McKay, tackled by LeKay, and the free kick goes that way. The Eagles will take it in defence. Sarah LeKay has got the footy.
Dr. Zeus.
LeKay will take it. Out towards Roberts. Nudged underneath it. And a free kick this time. It's been a pretty close tag through most of the game. And Goss gives up the free.
Yeah, Roberts has still got 22 disposals.
Just hasn't had the amount of time with the footy.
No.
Normally able to have full impact as the ball goes back through the middle. Franklin beelined it. Knocked it clear back to Swanson. Good tackle from Abby McKay. Now Britton. Off a step. Wanted Lauren Wakefield. Did well to bring it to ground. Now Swanson. High ball. Riggs there. Fitzgerald. Knocked away. Dalgleish has got speed. Sends it into the pocket. Lewis there, the target. Might be too nimble for Hendry. Hendry playing it pretty well. Boundary line wins.
Just keep an eye on Emma Swanson there. After that tackle, her head hit the ground. So we'll just see what happens here, whether she gets brought off or stays on.
8 minutes to go. 7 points in it. Plenty of other teams to be watching on with interest to see which way it pans out. There's Wakefield in there. Tackled by Harrington. Another ball up.
This is what the Eagles want. Just keep it in their forward 50.
Harrington trying to clear it. Head was down. And the ball up again. Lewis in and under.
The Eagles need movement through these stoppages to try and get someone to break free.
Crucial stoppage. Roberts tried to crash through. Again was under some pretty heavy pressure from Goss. Dana Hooker. Effect the kick. Fitzpatrick out of defence with speed. And blast the kick back to half-back. Intercepted by Smith. The veteran takes it on. Drop the kick in low for Franklin, who's able to pick it up on the half volley. Fed it back to Smith. Retreats to Britton, to Franklin. Carlton put pressure on. Britton with a twist and a turn. Handballs back to Franklin. They want to get it on the boot. Now it's with LeKay. Left foot kick into the pocket. Dalgleish tracks it. It's sat end on end. Back to Dalgleish. Lewis was there. Well played by Hendry. Clearing kick by Finn. And good hands from Scholes, who takes off. Releases the pressure for Carlton. Kick to the wing. Bohanna. There's nobody forward of her if it sits up. Eagles had the extra number. Rue with the tackle. Bohanna with the ball at feet. Eagles with the numbers. Carlton play it well. Scholes continue to work hard up the ground. And they just tread water for a second. The Eagles have got it. Back through Painter. High kick. Wait for the target. Corner knocked away. Wait for claim she was taken high. Vickers sends it inside 50. Out the back. The Blues. Bohanna.
Sensational defence from both sides there, but what got caught out there for the Eagles was ball watching. As soon as the Eagles defenders got the ball out of their area, they got sucked into watching the ball, and Tara Bohanna shot forward, and she just snuck out the back, and you just see that when the we went Carlton and then turned this ball over in the middle of the ground, they sent the ball long, and Bohanna's on her own.
Big recruit this season for the Blues. The Carlton spearhead sends it goalward but misses. That almost would have put it beyond doubt. We've got 5.5 minutes remaining. 8-point game. The Eagles from the kick-in can really waste little time. Their finals dreams slipping as Smith Goes straight up the middle of the ground. Knocked away by Abby McKay. Spills through Harrington. Roberts back onto it with a spin. Releases now to LeKay. With a kick, it's open space ahead. Foot race on. Hendry's quick. Lewis is closing the gap. The foot race, the sprint is on. Lewis wheeling herself to the front. Able to get there. Henry lays the tackle. Lewis trying to get it clear. Great one-on-one contest. Pound goes back in. Spills away to Roberts. Eagles inside 50. Carlton desperate in defence. McKay's handball brilliant towards Hill, who slapped it on again. Carlton gains some territory. Harrington's kick goes away. It'll spill towards Fitzpatrick and Bohanna. Back to Fitzpatrick. 4.5 minutes to go, and Carlton are in control.
Carlton's defensive pressure in the D50 has been incredible.
Carlton coach Matthew Bucks is calling for some calm. There's tired legs out there. There's Gearin will send it forward to Hill, who runs on strongly. Now they've got options. Fitzpatrick's been a running machine. Takes it on. Wants to seal it. Put it beyond downtown. Buries it. The Blues look finals bound.
Fitzpatrick has been absolutely incredible this game. Just the elite agility has just broken ankles of the Eagles players, and for her to have that result and kick a goal, just impressive. It just puts a cherry on top of her game tonight. But the ball movement and the transition here for Carlton, it was just kick mark. All the players were free. Eagles weren't defending very well at all.
Aaron Fitzpatrick, 11th goal of the season. Averages over 300 metres gained per match. You can tell why, just the way she takes the game on. Made it a little more difficult for herself, but got within range and finished it so brilliantly. They're now a 14-point lead with only the 4 minutes remaining. It's been a gutsy effort from the Blues off a 5-day break, travelling across to the west. And as now Abby McKay sends it forward. Fitzpatrick again. They've got all the energy, Carlton, and again, just that little shimmy allows the Irish woman to go deeper into attack. Good kick towards Bohanna, but it's knocked away out of play. No, a pushing free kick will be called. Bohanna will get the free, so we wait for Carlton to leave it. That'll be going the Blues' way. Plays on, back to a dangerous spot. Who coughs it up, perhaps. Still alive. Thomas knocked it down. Fitzpatrick in there. Shearer too. Handle away, Thomas to Smith. Dump kick out of defence. Vesio. They take a brilliant mark.
Carlton's transition, their work rate, their hunt, especially coming up here in the last 5 minutes, has just been the difference between Eagles and Carlton.
Kick smothered. Off the boot of Vesio by Wakefa. Fitzgerald has to play a bit of tunnel ball. And in and under, it'll be a ball up.
Wakefa looks like she might have done something to her finger as well. She's going to possibly go forward.
It's under 3 minutes remaining. Roberts. Handball was knocked down. Fitzpatrick's been everywhere in this last quarter. In fact, most of the game. Finn, tackle, lost it. Abby McKay, Shearer, smothered by Rue. Out of defence. Roberts. Now Cleaver. Scrambling kick. Vesio there with Dalgleish. Cleaver's kick up the wing. Bouncing footy. Blues can sense it. Harrington just left it. Went back at the player instead to leave it for Pound.
Too far down.
And then hit to Gearin.
Leave it for somebody else, somebody a bit shorter.
Chip the footy up the line. Scholes sent a high ball in by Hannah there. Zoe Wakefa with a good intercept. Under 2 minutes remain now. Off the hands of Lauren Wakefa. Dalgleish, there's a bit of a hold back behind the play. It's going to go Carlton's way.
I feel like the sting's just gone out of the game a little bit here, and Carlton will probably have trained for these moments with a minute and a half to go, just to either get the ball long inside 50 or just hold possession at least.
Another good intercept by Zoe Wakefa. time critical for the Eagles. Stretch too far from here. It's Thomas away to Roo, and Carlton really putting the foot down in this final term. Think back to that moment with the 50-metre penalty, just putting a bit of a gap in the game for the Blues, and then some great finishing late. They've dominated time in forward half in this final quarter, and they're pushing hard towards the final siren. Finn getting involved, Shearer, Goss, Gearon's there, McGrath knocked it down. Roberts tackles, Finn, Harrington, smart from Roberts to the backward somersault there on the ground almost. Socket forward again by the Blues. It'll just live in their forward half as Zoe Wakeford takes it out of play.
And look at Carlton's 2 inclusions here. We've got Abby McKay on 23 disposals and Mimi Hill leading the way on 22. Great inclusions for this game.
And a brilliant effort by Carlton, who played last Sunday, so off a 5-day break. They've been able to run this game out so well. All sent forward by Gearon, pushing sharp. Rui's in there. Cleaver's handball back to Dana Hooker. Could be her last game. I'll have to wait for other results through the rest of the round. The Eagles as Painter put the Eagles in front at one stage in this final term. Coughs it up to Hill. They'll go back inside 50. Vesio might have the last kick.
Vesio will just wind down the clock here.
And take all the time they need. Go back off the longest run you have ever seen. The Blues prevail in the West. A gutsy performance. Vesio with the last kick. They blast it long with the torque. Turning back the clock. A big barrel for the Blues to blast them into the finals.
Bring back the barrel.
What a moment, Carlton fans. The spot in the finals secured. We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team all Carlton knows. We're all the champions. They like to send up. We'll keep our heads up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark world. The celebrations on one side, the emotion on the other. Dana Hooker, it could have been her last game of footy. They have to wait now on other results through the weekend, the Eagles, to see if they can still sneak into the finals with their percentage. Carlton have locked up their spot and a home final in 5th position. West Coast now will be watching on with interest who the Swans match against the Bombers. And if Sydney drop that, the Eagles will still feature as the Crows and Fremantle are still playing against each other. But that is what is to come in round 12. Sydney will start hot favourites in that game against the Bombers.
Yeah, they've been playing well as well, haven't they, Sydney? But you never know against the Bombers. They can come out of nowhere and just produce an incredible game. So, yeah, we'll be looking forward to watching the rest of these games this weekend.
Plenty more to unfold over the rest of Saturday and Sunday of round 12 as we get down to our Harvey Norman player of the match, who's standing alongside Bonnie Rayner.
Cheers, thank you, Abby McKay. 2 words, finals footy. Take us inside this raw emotion. How unbelievable does that feel?
It's absolutely incredible. I mean, I want to swear, but I don't think I'm allowed to. But we've worked so hard to get to this point, and, you know, it's been 3 or 4 years now that we've kind of been trying to get here, so It's a bit of a relief, but it's bloody awesome as well.
And you led all the way against the Giants last week and had an emphatic win. You've come from behind tonight off a 5-day break, soggy conditions, so you've shown that you can win in multiple different ways. How much confidence do you take into the pointy end now?
Yeah, we have heaps of confidence. I mean, we're supported by an incredible high-performance team that have gotten us to be as fit as we are, so we know we can kind of, do those quick turnarounds and, run out the whole game, and I think that's probably what helped us win today. So super pumped and, yeah, heaps of belief in the group.
The emotion down here is just unbelievable. Now, how much interest will you guys watch the rest of the round with as you wait to see who you'll face?
Oh, yeah, we'll obviously watch with heaps of interest. We have a game to prepare for now, so we don't quite know who it will be. So definitely we'll keep an eye on the scores for the rest of the weekend.
A great place to be in as you put the legs up for an extra few days. Enjoy the hopefully extended break and good luck in final.
Thanks so much, Bonnie.
Raw emotion celebrations from the Blues, and Abby McKay, the 23 disposals, the 7 tackles, played a big part.
Yeah, she did, and just led from the front, her and Mimi Hill and the whole team. And I agree with what she said about the strength and conditioning team. I just believe that it was the extra legs at the end of the day that got them through.
Let's get back down to Bonnie.
Thank you, with Aaron Fitzpatrick. You were just saying you've had a few tears. Take us inside what this clearly means to this group, that you've been building towards this for so many seasons.
Yeah, it's so good to be able to see the growth and development that we've had over the past couple of years, and just to see how we can move the ball this year is just so good. We've become such an exciting team to watch, and it's just so bloody good to play with this team.
You've been through it all, multiple knee reconstructions, coming from Gaelic football, as your classy teammates are now just running over to pay tribute to Dana Hooker as she gets chaired off. What does this mean to you individually, who's been such a latecomer to the AFLW?
Yeah, I suppose I've been through the hard times, but just days like this that makes it extra special. And I suppose just credit to all the high performance team in Carlton to be able to get me back to the player that I am today. And just to be able to play with this team, it's so special. And every single player was behind me through all my rehab and stuff. And yeah, to be able to help them to the finals is really cool.
It's just great to see you back out here, and I'll let you go chair off Dana Hooker because this is a really classy touch from your teammates. Enjoy.
So much. Thank you.
Dana Hooker saying farewell to the Eagles fans. Had an amazing career, 2-time All-Australian, a Fremantle Best and Fairest winner. The Eagles' inaugural Best and Fairest winner too has had a big impact in the AFLW.
Yeah, she certainly has, not only in the AFLW but also at Waffle W level as well. So coming from Subiaco, she's just been incredible. She just proves that you can be of all different shapes and sizes. She's so wiry and slight but so tough. And she's just so tenacious, and her incredible endurance and her skill was just sensational. It's great to see her there with her daughters.
And that's been part of her journey too, through her footballs, taking time away for kids and coming back to play football too. Might still be a game to play for the Eagles. I wait to see results across the rest of the weekend, but still getting to say farewell to the Eagles fans here. But it's the Blues who have prevailed on a Friday night in Leederville with just a terrific performance away from home off a short break, and they've cemented their spot in the finals.
This program brought to you by Toyota.
All right, folks, there we go. Well, it was Carlton too strong for the West Coast Eagles this evening, 6-6-42. They got away in the end. The Eagles 3-4-22. There we go. The Eagles did hit the front in that final quarter. But the Blue Baggers went bang, bang, bang. 4 goals, 2 in that final term for the Blues. They're just too strong. Even though they were kicking against the breeze, the Eagles could only manage that 1 goal, which actually put them in front. But the Blues safely into the finals this year for 2025 AFLW football action. Now the West Coast Eagles, they're going to sit back and cross their fingers that other teams lose, that they remain in the top 8 and can play finals football next week. It's going to be a tight old tussle. I'll tell you what, it's going to be nerve-wracking for some teams this week. And I'll tell you what, there's still quite a few games to come over this weekend. And, of course, we've still got GWS Port Adelaide, Richmond versus Gold Coast, Sydney versus Essendon, Geelong versus Melbourne, Collingwood versus Brisbane, St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs, and, of course, Adelaide and Fremantle. That could be the deciding factor whether West Coast make the 8 or not. It could be, folks, come down to that very last game. Of course, Fremantle in that game as well. So there we go. Fascinating. What a great game, though. I'll tell you what, it was a little bit rainy. There was a bit of wind. But it was certainly an exciting game out there this evening where West Coast took on Carlton. But the favourites, Carlton, they certainly got the job done this evening. Anyway, we had, we got the poll wrong tonight. 57% went for the West Coast Eagles, 43% went for Carlton, but we didn't quite get that one knocked on their head there tonight. Yeah, Carlton looked really strong in the second half of that final term. Tell you what, they look pretty good, and it'll be interesting to see who Carlton end up playing in the first week of the finals. We'll certainly have to wait and see what happens with the remaining games throughout over the weekend. Being round 12, it's the final game of the home and away series for the AFLW, and then we're into finals action after this weekend, folks. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere because finals action coming up next week or the week after, I think. Not 100% sure if they've got the week off like the guys or they go straight into it. So, but possibly, hey, Lucas, how you doing? The halftime score was 2-3-15 West Coast, Carlton 1-3-9. West Coast actually led. West Coast led at quarter time. West Coast led at halftime. It was all tied up at 3/4 time, but Carlton were just a little bit too strong in the end, getting the job done over the West Coast Eagles. So that was the halftime scores right down here. There we go. 2-3-15 West Coast Eagles. 1 goal 3-9. That was the halftime scores. But it ended up 6-6-42 to 3-4-22. Carlton too strong this evening. Jaden, welcome in. Thanks, Lucas, for dropping on in. Oh, your scores. Carlton too strong. They're going to play finals action. I'm not sure whether that is loaded. Let me try and reload this and see whether that's actually loaded. It's loaded now. So as we can see, the Kangaroos, they defeated Hawthorn in the earlier match this evening. Kangaroos going to be the minor premiers going through the season undefeated. That's right, undefeated with the Kangaroos. They're about $1.30 favourite for the flag. Played 12, 1-12. Carlton, they're victorious tonight. That will cement them a spot in the finals, 5th at the moment. Played 12, 8 wins, 4 losses, sitting on 32 points, 116.9 their percentage. That's good enough to get them. Which team has the first behind? The first goal was West Coast, Lauren Wakefer. She was the first goal scorer of the game. The person who kicked the first behind was Yasmin Dersma for Carlton. So that was the one who kicked the first behind. But the first score was a goal, and then the second score was a behind. So it tells you all here, the goal scorers and the point scorers. But just looking at the ladder, there we go. Carlton cement themselves here. As I said, West Coast Eagles who play tonight, sitting on 24 points, the same as Adelaide, Sydney, Fremantle. Of course, Adelaide will play Fremantle in the last game of the round. And Sydney also will play. No worries. Lovely Lynn. No worries. Poe Ricky. Good stuff. And, of course, Sydney, as I was saying, Sydney Swans, they play Essendon. Essendon down there in 15th. You would probably expect Sydney to win that game, so Sydney will probably jump up. So Sydney win, they'll go above West Coast Eagles, and then it could all come down to Adelaide and Fremantle game for the next position. But you know what? It looks as though West Coast could be a chance to win. The only chance West Coast Eagles have got of staying in the top 8, that is if Essendon can beat Sydney, because no matter if Adelaide win or Fremantle win, they'll go 28 points. They'll go a game clear of West Coast. which will drop them down a position. So it all comes down to Sydney and Essendon for the West Coast Eagles. So the Eagles fans certainly be cheering on Essendon down there in 15 swans. They need to beat Sydney for West Coast to stay in the hunt and play finals football. So that's what it comes down to for the West Coast Eagles, the underdog of Sydney and Essendon. So just giving you a bit of a whatnot of that game. Sydney Swans, they actually will go into that game 107 favourite, $1.07 favourites. Essendon are 8-1 to win that game. So there we go. It's going to be that could be just about season over for West Coast, looking at how we think it might unfold. So there we go. Lucas, yeah, there's the halftime score right here. It was 15-9. West Coast led at halftime. It was West Coast Eagles leading by 5 points at quarter time. They led by 6 points at halftime, all tied up at 3/4 time. But in the end, it was Carlton by 20-point victors over West Coast this evening. All right, folks. Hey, that's all I got for this one. You never know. I might be able to get in a game. Tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see what's happening on the agenda. I'm not sure I've got to pop out. I do have to pop out tomorrow, so we might get a game in, we might not. We'll just have to work out and see what's happening there. Richmond, I think a couple of the teams. The good teams, I probably won't be here tomorrow for the good teams. Possibly Sunday I'll be on maybe the Collingwood-Brisbane game. St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, or Adelaide, Fremantle. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be home and be able to cover some of those. If not, I'll try and get the next games up will be the finals of the AFLW football action. It should be fantastic. All right, folks. Hey, that's all I got for this coverage. Thanks, everyone, for joining me on the last coverage. And this coverage, don't forget, winners this evening. It was North Melbourne, 2 strong, 67 points, defeated Hawthorn, 18 points. And, of course, tonight, Carlton, 42-22. Toppling over the West Coast Eagles. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Hey, thanks everyone for coming on in. Good to see you, Lucas, Ricky, good stuff. Thanks for popping on in. Jaden, Ryan, hopefully we'll see you next time on the next game of footy. So until next time, ciao for now, folks, and we'll see you at the next game.